Roy Campanella and Jackie Robinson. And he said, tomorrow we should see these players. So I ran to bed, which you don't usually see happen with our kids. You usually have to prod them. And we woke up in the morning, we got the bus, and it was very similar to one of these buses here. Maybe a little newer, but not too much. And we drove to the tarmac of Tampa Airport about 8:15 in the morning. And we got off the bus, and I said, Dad, where should we stand? He said, well, stand in the front so we could see the guys getting on. So I said, okay. So we waited a few minutes, and all of a sudden, in the distance, a DC-7 prop jet, the K. O'Malley 1. The Dodgers were the only team to have their own plane. Kind of banked into the early morning fog and mist there. Landed and came in front of me and had Dodgers on the side, the baseball on the tail. Pretty heady stuff for a young kid. And it taxied over. There were no concourses back then in '56. They pushed stairs up to the door of the plane. It opened up, and off came Walt Alston, the great manager. And there was Peavy, the captain, and Charlie Neal and Jim Gilliam, and the boys of summer. They had beaten the Yankees, as they just said, in 1955, the fall. So this was their spring as world champions. And in the book, Candace and I talked about, she said to me, what happened when they walked by? I said, well, first of all, invariably, they patted me on the head because, remember the old days, you had a flat top and you had so much witch wax it was sticking up like a porcupine? I guess they couldn't believe it was sticking up so straight, and they had to test it a little bit like that. The moral of this is my dad was about 6'3" or 6'4", and I'm not. So don't pat your kids on the head when they're young. It will affect the cerebellum or something like that. Shawnee, I'm not going to pat you on the head, my son. But it was as if my Topps cards came to life as each one of those players walked by. And to see the players here, to know that in somehow, some way, that this period of time, from 45 to 58, when the Dodgers made the transition to Los Angeles, may have been the golden era for them. Ralph Branca, dear friend. I'm going to see him in about 2 weeks in New York. He's the last living member of that 1947 team. Eddie Stanky, really a peppery Southerner. Branca, Bobby Bragan, the same way. But that day, once the players got on the bus, we went to St. Petersburg. We started getting off the bus. Guys were grabbing their bags. Little man comes out in boxer shorts and a strapped T-shirt with a little cigar. I wonder who this is. He says, I'm John, the clubhouse man. Bussy, is that your boy? And my dad said, yes, it is. Want a bat boy today? And my dad looked at me and I smiled. Yes, he said, well, get the kid and have him take the bats out to the dugout. Guys will be out in 15 minutes. So the bat bag was bigger than me. The ball bag was probably weighed more than me. Dad helped me take it out to the dugout. I was an only child. And I started laying out the bats. I don't know how many of you are only children. Very pragmatic with it. Laying the helmets out just right. And I kept hearing, tsh, tsh. And I turned around. Of course, the Yankees were taking batting practice, and there was number 7, Mickey Mantle, on the batting cage. Of course, every kid at that time loved Mickey. You love the Dodgers, but you also love Mickey. And he had these towering shots, Steve, to right field and over. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching, and all of a sudden I hear, son, you want to play catch? And I turn around, there's Gil Hodges, number 14. And Gil, and I did an interview today, Gil was my first idol because Gil was about 6'3", 6'4", soft-spoken, big hands, a real man's man, a lot like my dad. So I said, yes, sir. And at that time, real good gloves cost about $12, right? And your mother told you, don't lose them, because we can't afford another one. So you put it on your